I would actually like to start with sleep hygiene. I know it sounds like a really strange term, but it's proven time and time again to work. So the biggest things you can do is to create a ritual. So a ritual or a consistency, those are the most important. So trying to go to bed at the same time, or at least start to get ready for bed at the same time every night, and to wake up at the same time every day. I know we may not have places to go, but you've got to get that. We're creatures of habit. So let's help ourselves kind of thing. The next thing is to take a warm shower or bath right before bed. The thing that's really helpful for that is that it calms the sympathetic nervous system and starts to promote the parasympathetic nervous system to take over, which is rest and digest. You definitely want to try and get as many of the blue lights or LED lights out of your bedroom as possible. So that could be on like a router or your television, or when your computer is plugged in, it's that bright light that you could see. That one, there's a few ways. If you don't want to take your router out of your room, or obviously you don't want to move your TV, I suggest my patients to tape like a business card over those at night, so that it closes out that light. Because what happens is those LED lights, our eyelids are very thin. The LED lights permeate through your eyelid, the skin of your eyelids, and right behind your nose, there's your pineal gland where your melatonin is made. So it disrupts the melatonin production and secretion. That's why that's so important. Obviously, keeping your bedroom cold, 69 or lower is best. And then weighted blankets are awesome too. Supplementation wise, of course, there's a plethora of them. Everybody hears about melatonin, and it's fantastic, but it's not a cure-all. And I think a lot of people say, oh, I've tried melatonin, it didn't work. It doesn't mean that you're hopeless. There's other things that can help you sleep. GABA is something you can look for. What that is that's your primary inhibitory neurotransmitter, and that actually can cross the blood-brain barrier and start to calm your brain down, again, promoting that parasympathetic nervous system to take over. Another one you're going to be hearing a lot more about, just due to all the research, is phosphatidylserine. Again, absolutely incredible. It's an inhibitory neurotransmitter, calming you down. Ashwagandha, I can't say enough about it. It's amazing. Passion flower. That one is fantastic for actually a multitude of reasons. Number one, it tastes amazing. I take it in a glycerite, and it's really helpful for calming your thoughts before bed if you're racing and making lists in your head. But even better, it helps you to stay asleep. So let's say you wake up in the middle of the night, you could take a little dropper of that, and it's helpful to get you back to sleep. Additionally, it's fantastic for women going through menopause that are having problems sleeping. So I love passion flower. The other ones, again, we were talking about magnesium. That's fantastic for, again, calming your entire body. But the one that I suggest to take is magnesium glycinate. That one's really good at nighttime. And then B6 is a cofactor used in turning serotonin into melatonin. So you see 5-HTP, you see B6, you see all of those kind of supplements. All of that's in the serotonin to melatonin pathway. And then it's also been proven in the research that people deficient in vitamin D have a lot of sleep disturbances and issues actually falling to sleep. So that's another amazing one, because it also helps boost your mood, like we were talking about earlier, Riley.
For example, my husband has a hard time falling asleep often, and he'll usually try to find a natural way to fall asleep. And then sometimes he misses that window. And then at this point it's 2 a.m. He's been tossing and turning. Sometimes the fear is taking any sort of sleep aid, and then you're knocked out for the next, 8 to 10 hours. And then your whole day gets crashed because you can't start till 11. What options would you suggest for somebody? And with this list, at what time would you recommend taking these things?
That one I have kind of perfected through trial and error. That one is best to take a sleep supplement, let's say right after dinner. So it gives your body time to ingest the substance, make sure it gets to the proper places in your body and to the proper cells. So that you're not laying in bed wondering why you can't sleep. So I like to do it between 7 and 9 p.m. And then that way you have that 8-hour window that usually these things last for. So like melatonin, you get that hangover. The GABA, the phosphatidylserine, and the passion flower, you don't get that with those.
We often forget about the impact of sleep and how that truly affects every other piece of our life. So thank you for this topic on sleep and these supplements. I'm really excited to try them.
Yeah, the biggest ones, the biggest takeaway would be the GABA or the phosphatidylserine, I would say.
And the passion flower sounds awesome.
It's my favorite. Like it's not the most potent, but it's just lovely. It's just nice. I like herbs, so botanical medicine is awesome. The other thing, the last thing about prioritizing sleep as well as fitness and diet is that growth hormone is produced and secreted during your sleep. That's amazing for lean muscle mass production, for antioxidants, for just in general repairing your muscles. So that's something that people really need to remember, is that growth hormone, so important, and it's secreted at nighttime.
It's kind of a general health question, because a couple of things I've been taking for a long time, and I wondered about the efficacy of it or the role of it. Just wanted to ask the doctor what she thought about super greens, like a powder additive in your shakes or whatever, and amino acids, free-form, branch chain. What do you think about the role of those?
I was hoping somebody would ask that about the BCAAs, because I didn't put it in the list.
Yeah.
So
glutamine too.
Oh, and glutamine. Okay.
Yeah.
Love all of these things you're saying, and it is hard because there's so many, and you don't want to be taking everything. I love super greens. I think they're incredible to put in your smoothie.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, if you're eating enough vegetables and fruits, you shouldn't necessitate that. So if you could bring it in dietary, in a dietary form, as opposed to supplementation with the super greens, by all means, that's something that would probably be just as efficient, if not better. There's a lot of people that have issues with stevia and xylitol that are usually in those flavored BCAA powders. So make sure that if you do feel jittery or your heart's racing, it could be from either the stevia, the xylitol, or the massive influx of all those B vitamins at one time. And then you said glutamine.
Yeah, I take glutamine. I've always taken it's supposed to be the brain, amino acid, and most abundant in our brain. And also I thought it was good for the, soreness, muscle soreness, and, what do you call that? The lactic acid buildup.
Yes, glutamine is incredible. It's kind of one of those, it's one of those amino acids that's really helpful for a multitude of things, kind of like carnitine is also an amino acid.
Okay.
With glutamine, for working out, it's really good to take up to like 10 grams. You don't have to take it all at one time, but in the powder form is the best for your muscles to actually absorb them.
The last question that I have, maybe to tie it all together, is if you could just walk us through your day. You wake up, what's your whole list of what you take and when you take it and with what?
I usually try and drink a whole thing of water before I really leave my bedroom, just so I have at least like 32 ounces down, because hydration is so important, especially in Vegas. I recommend at least 100 ounces of water a day, which is a little shy of a gallon. So with my water, I do ashwagandha. I do one ashwagandha. I do one of this rhodiola, which is my new secret sauce. And then I'll add in mushrooms. Mushrooms are really important to me. They're immune boosting. They also help with concentration and cognition. And they help with cerebrovascular circulation, which is oxygen to your brain to help you think clearer. And then after breakfast, I do my immune boosting portion, which I've only been doing during COVID. Vitamin C, a multi-mineral, lysine, which is a really potent antiviral, zinc in the picolinate form, 50 milligrams at least. That's excellent, not only for your immune system, but also your skin, which is always a win-win. And then for sleep, I just have all this show and tell. I do Insomnitol, which has everything we talked about, the B6, the 5-HTP, and the melatonin in it. And that's a chewable. And then sometimes I add phosphatidylserine just for fun. I'm kind of experimenting with this now.